Yo, what is going on, Eat Nation? We're back for Madden 24 action, and today we're in the spread double flex weak formation going over the play motion drive. Now, of course, if this is familiar, well, the previous video right before this one, we went over flanker dig right behind me. So, of course, we got another little mini scheme going on in this formation. And anything else, I'm probably gonna have to turn it into an ebook, which is definitely something I am currently working on. Now, if you notice my voice is a little different, I apologize. Currently getting over the flu. But that being said, the beauty about motion drive is that the auto motion allows us to determine man or zone, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that. But it also allows you to attack the field sideline to sideline, vertically and underneath. So the defense gets the impossible task of trying to defend this play. I'm going to be going over a plethora of meta defenses and of course different types of zones so you guys can see exactly how I attack it, and then of course sprinkle in some tips and gameplays video of MUT champs and legendary vision head-to-head MUT games, so you guys can see that not only does it work in practice mode, but of course in head-to-head as well. So let's hop right into it. We're rocking cover 3 on the defensive side. Now for us, the uniqueness about this play is the auto motion ran by the square receiver. He creates a high-low, him and the in route, and it also tips us whether it's man or zone. Just like in real life NFL, they use motions to tip whether it's man or zone. We're going to do the same thing in this, which is really cool. Now we got two streaks on the opposite side of the field, ran by Kittle and Jennings. Now the one ran by Kittle is unique because it bends inwards and gives him inside precision. So a lot of the times, even in man defense, you're able to hit that seam streak, not just cover 3 in specific zones. Now we don't need two streaks on one side of the field. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Jennings, the circle receiver, and we're going to put him on a comeback. Not only does it beat man, and it also fits in between the zones, and it's also pretty difficult to stop. It's frustrating to stop. It also stretches the field. It does a lot for us. And of course the wheel route ran by McCaffrey. Now this wheel route doesn't do a great job beating man defense. If you see cover 1, I recommend putting him on a hot routed wheel route because it does a better job beating man. Those are the only adjustments you need to make on this play. You don't even necessarily need to do the McCaffrey adjustment. That is just in case you see cover 1 and you want to hit him over the top. We'll showcase that later on in the video. Now, I want you guys to take a look at the outside corner in front of Deebo Samuel, the square receiver. And you're going to notice how he kind of lazily runs to the middle of the field as soon as he motions, and he doesn't line up on top of him. So you're gonna take that and put that in your mental notes just for right now, because of course I called cover 3 on the defense. It's cover 3 zone. You notice he kind of lazily goes to that side of the field, and he kind of lazily goes to inside the numbers. That tips us off that it is zone defense. The reads on this play, apologize, I forgot to mention it. A square, he's read number 1 on the drag. The in route, the triangle receiver, he is read number 2, followed by the seam by Kittle, the X receiver. He's read number 3, and then the circle receiver on the comeback, he's going to be read number 4. Now, the great thing about this play is, one, we got the high-low with the drag in, and then we got a spread with the opposite side of the field, but it also goes from left of the screen to the right side of the field. It's easy on the eyes for you to make your read accordingly across the field, which is really good about this play. It's an underrated part that people don't necessarily think about. You don't have to go from left to right to left to go to the reads. Now, of course, the drag route is a drag route. I don't have to go too deep into it. Phenomenal route to go against zone defense. Beats almost every coverage. Actually, it does beat every coverage. And it's something that I hate to say needs to be manually guarded, but it basically needs to be manually guarded. Now, of course, once you call it more than once, you know, the opponent, he's going to say, all right, I got to take this away. So I'm going to man up the drag receiver to signify the user manually guarding it and taking it away from us. So of course, once he does that, I got all the setup. All right, we'll call hike. Ayuk on the backside in, he's going to be the guy we want to hit. I mean, of course, if it's zone defense, it's just going to be a huge hole occupied there. And of course, if he's playing the other middle linebacker, just like this, say the user was playing this linebacker, then you're just going to want to wait for him, Ayuk, to clear this zone right here, and then of course hit him. Now, of course, you might have to hold the ball just a half second longer for him to clear that zone, but of course it's still going to be open over the middle of the field. It's just going to have to take a half second longer, which is unfortunate, but there's still a huge hole for us to hit over the middle. If you happen to miss those reads, Kittle on the stream streak is going to be there. You're going to give it an inside precision pass, and then you're going to try to cut it off in between. Especially you want to make sure you don't get the knockout animation. So an inside precision, and then you want to cut it off, and then try to redirect yourself towards the middle of the field to make sure that, one, the outside corner doesn't have a knockout KO, and two, you don't get the big hit animation ran by the safety. So you're just going to inside it, kind of just right there. And then usually I'll kind of try to go down right away just to make sure I secure the catch. But you guys are freaks out there, and you guys will always try to pick up more yards after the catch. I see you guys in my games. And of course, last but not least, that you kind of throw it as a timing route. You want to throw it kind of right before he cuts, so you use it as a deep hook. Deep hook is kind of where you want to anticipate that throw, especially if there's no bump or anything. You know, you go to anticipate it as soon as he cuts, that ball's right there, and then that's your easy 15-20 yards. So we'll go one more time. Just like that. You'll get it over the safety, underneath that corner, and then it's an easy pitch and catch. So by doing this, you're able to stretch the field vertically because the user has to stay for the dragging in. The user has to take those away, or else you're just going to hit it every single time, right? Making it so you can hit that opposite side of the field without worry of a user. He's going to have to sit there and play with his zone drops to even have a chance. And even then, you're going to have that route ran by Kittle, which is an easy pitch and catch for him to also need to user. Your opponent is eventually going to try to get slick, and he's going to switch to cover one man. And of course, this is the best thing that he could do for us, and we'll showcase it exactly why. So we're going to use this hook right here to signify the user, and he's going to kind of do whatever he wants, roam around the field, and chances are he's going to try to take away the drag or the in route. Now, of course, if he tries to do that, sorry, I forgot to set the adjustments on the play. It's all right. You could easily hit Kittle on that seam streak. Again, he always gets inside position because of the route, meaning that you can kind of hit him just like it's cover 3 almost. You go in, and then the best case scenario for your opponent is that he gets a knockout animation. The worst case, you're able to just pick up 20 easy yards. But of course, you know, if it's a tight throw or he shades underneath, then of course the drag route, you're going to notice, beats man. You can easily just continually hit that for easy, quick yards. And then, of course, if you have a speedy receiver that can turn upfield and make a man miss, that's going to be off to the races. Now, of course, if you haven't seen exactly why, you're going to notice the difference between cover 1 and cover 3 by the way that corner, let me go to him all the way. This corner right here reacts to the auto motion. So you're going to see when it was cover 3, if you remember, he kind of lazily walked towards the middle of the field. But now that it's cover 1 man, you're going to see him, 1, run there, and 2, he's going to line up straight over him. Straight over him, but it doesn't give him positioning in order for him to do anything about it. Meaning that 1, you're always going to have that throw to the drag route. 2, it's always going to tip you off whether it's man or zone. Because if you remember in cover 3, he just kind of walked there. And now cover 1, or man defense, I should say, he had that easy ability to run over the wide receiver. And of course, because of that, the inside receiver, which is Ayuk at this point, is always going to get inside positioning. So you're able to easily just hit a precision pass to the down and inside, and you're able to easily pick up some 10-15 yards, which makes sure that this play is able to easily beat man and zone. But of course, that's not exactly why we love it when the opponent calls cover 1 man. If you hadn't noticed already, you saw McCaffrey kind of digging down the field, and all we're going to do is just call hike, and then we're going to throw him a lob pass over the sideline, and it's just going to be a 1-play touchdown. Just like that, boom. McCaffrey, massive amounts of separation. I know that it is a linebacker, but trust me, if it is a MUT head-to-head gameplay, it'll also be the same thing. And I believe I'll showcase it in one of the clips that I have already recorded while I was labbing. And then, of course, last but not least, that backside comeback route against Sauce Gardner will get open. Now, this is Jennings, a 75 overall wide receiver against Sauce Gardner, which is, I think, the best man corner in Madden 24. So if this is able to be pitch and catch as easily then I know when you guys have elite receivers in your online games that you're going to be able to hit this on a consistent basis. So not only can your opponent not call cover 3, but he can't call man defense in general, or else he's going to have a bad time, which is of course what we like. Now, I did not put McCaffrey on his auto motion. That was the stock one. It doesn't beat as fast, and it also takes a little bit longer for it to develop, meaning that, you know, of course, if he blitzes or the opponent gets a lucky block shed for a sack, you know, you might get sacked instead of getting that over the top one play touchdown. So one more time to Kittle, and then I think we'll move on to probably cover 2. Seems like a good spot to incorporate some of the actual plays. Right now we saw cover 1. We hit that inside seam. It was an easy pitch and catch. Right now this poor soul on the defensive side, he's going to have trouble. You're going to see him. He tries to take away stuff, but unfortunately we just have too many answers on our route combinations for him to guard. He went for the drag. We go for the in. We go for the in. We go for the drag. This time he tried calling cover 2 man. Took the safety and tried to dip down to take away the in, which isn't a bad idea. It was a good idea on his part, but of course we're going to put that in our memory banks and then of course take advantage of it. At this point, we will hit the seam a couple times, we hit the drag a couple times, we hit the in. Now we showcase the comeback route, and at that point he didn't really know what to do. And then of course he went back to his cover 2 man with the safety and dipped down, but of course we decided to hit the wheel route over the top because we kept it in our memory banks for the one play touchdown. And of course, you're going to see later on in the plays that we started incorporating the previous play we went over, flanker dig, and we even ran the ball a little bit, which is weird on my part. So I'm going to showcase a lot of that on this. And of course, we hit the seam. Now we're going for the backside in. We get a crazy knockout animation. Luckily, that wasn't picked off. But of course, you can see wide open wide receivers as we decided to say, you know, why not? Let's go to the comeback route. And of course, he didn't even finish the drive. You could see right there, he started pulling up the mic, talking trash. I can't repeat what he said, but he left the game right then and there. And of course, right here with this guy back and forth, he's trying to take away the drag. He's trying to take away the in. He tried double mabeling a couple times to see it, but what that does is it just makes it too much responsibility on the user for him to attack the middle of the field. Now, when I ran the ball in this play, I motioned the outside wide receiver in to make it look like I was running motion drag, but of course, I just ran the ball instead. So I gave him multiple different looks that looked the same and then ran different stuff out of it, which is really cool. And then right now, you're going to see a combination of flanker dig with this new money play, and you're going to see the opponent just having a difficult time adjusting to both of them, and unfortunately just not able to stop either one of them. This was a little bit of a tight window throw. All right, so we're rocking cover 2 now on defense, and it does a good job stopping the comeback route. So unfortunately, it's going to take that away from us, but it still gets incredibly open underneath on the drag and the in route. So those are usually the primary ones that you want to go to when you get caught in cover 2. Now, typically when you get caught in cover 2, you only fall for it once, because if you see cover 2 once again, I'm going to tell you, just like I told in the last video, you're going to call vert comebacks just like that. And then you're just going to either hit Deebo Samuel or Ayuk over the middle of the field. And of course, that's going to be your chunk play. You do that a couple times, he's going to get away from cover 2, or he's going to try to manually guard that seam streak as well. And if you get caught in cover 2 and he does a good job guarding it, you can hit Kittle on that seam as well. You can hit Kittle on it because he goes to the inside, but I will say that unless you got a good tight end, it's probably going to get knocked out. Like in all my head-to-head games, in cover 2, when I tried hitting it, usually there's a deep zone KO or some sort of unlucky knockout animation. So usually I try to possession catch it to try to give myself the best possible chance of retaining that catch, because usually a rat catch animation or an aggressive catch will result in a knockout, which is unfortunate. So I usually kind of try to cut it off, possession catch it, and give myself the best chance to retain that catch. But typically, usually, the drag route and the in route is all you need on this play in order to beat cover 2. You could even hit the wheel route, actually. In one of the plays in the showcase of the plays that I use in the online games, you will see one time where I hit a wheel route for a big gain. And that was me kind of testing what I could and could not do in cover 2. And turns out if you hit it early enough, because it goes wide across the field, you hit it early enough that you're going to be able to just try to give yourself a nice check down with some open space. You know, if you're able to get sticky with it and wiggle it, then you're able to pick up chunk yards. But usually it's a nice check down for you to hit in cover 2. But typically, like I said, if you see cover 2, you get caught in it once, cool, hit the drag, and then call it again. You're just going to want to audible, divert hooks, and then go to Debo over the middle of the field. It's a much more reliable way to attack cover 2. All right, so 6-1 even in the 4-3 is also a very popular formation that people use. They'll put their flats to 30, curl flats to 25. And if you put your curl flat to 30, right, that's going to probably stop the comeback route. So that's cool on that part. The curl flats at 5, that doesn't really stop anything. So in this play specifically, so it's cool that they have that. And then usually, remember, they'll go into cover 4 quarters. So the adjustments, they're going to double Mabel and then cover 2 shell. So just like that, that's what they're going to do. And unfortunately, you're asking a lot out of this middle linebacker. You're asking a lot out of him because he has to guard the drag and the in. And yeah, he's not going to be able to do both of them, right? And if he does, then he just did a really good job of baiting you. So that's something you kind of have to be careful for when somebody calls double Mabel on you. Just like that. I mean, at this point, it's like pick your poison on which one you want to hit, whether it's the drag or the in. The best part about this is you attack the middle of the field and the sidelines. So double Mabeling doesn't work because you're able to attack it regardless of the way the defense adjusts it. Now, shout out to my adjustment skills, the way I'm able to do all that on the fly. But I mean, say he goes to the end. I mean, you're still able to technically hit it, but you probably shouldn't. The backside in is what you're going to want to go for on that one. And you know what else goes over the middle of the field? The seam streak ran by Kittle. Once he clears that flat, you're just going to give him another pass. And it's even more open. So at this point, you kind of want him to call double Mabel. Double Mabel is a favor that the defense can do for you. And you know those sweats, they kind of go like this, and then they'll pinch the line, and then they'll just ride it up underneath. God, that's so annoying. Like it. Get good, buddy. Get good. And this is the perfect play for it because they just can't stop everything. They can't stop it all going over the middle of the field. And it makes me very happy to beat the meta defenses that the people have to offer. Now, of course, some live clips are going to be played over the top and showcasing it. And of course, I'll commentate, break it down, break my thought process and all of that. But of course, that's going to have to wrap up this play. This is a really phenomenal play. I like it a lot and it's easy to build upon. And of course, if you enjoy the video, please subscribe. We're nearing 1,000 and we're nearing 1,000 subscribers. So once we hit the mark, I definitely got something special for everybody. So hopefully we're able to hit that pretty soon. But other than that, hey, good luck, everybody.